by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, and indeed the latest kid on the block, Meridian Port Services MPS. The show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPH. Our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show tonight. As usual, we're getting interactive with you, and what you have to do is to send your messages and comments ahead via our dedicated WhatsApp line 0559-019-177, 0559-019-177. At the appropriate time, when I pick signals from our production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. We are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Indeed, still on Facebook, we are still streaming live at Port of Tema. Port of Tema on YouTube. You can watch us live at Ironport, Ghana. Ironport, Ghana. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we bounce back, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water, or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor,
I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance
for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
All All right, so you're welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. And in the course of the week, the Ship Owners and Agents Association of Ghana, SOAAG, had cause to unveil a new logo at this annual cocktail event, plus the fact that wholly owned Ghanaian company Dredge Masters also in the course of the week had cause to outdoor some world-class state-of-the-art equipment that they bought or they acquired, and the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was the guest of honor at that event. He indeed performed the commissioning. Let's take a look at these stories.
The Ship Owners and Agents Association of Ghana, SOAAG, has held its annual cocktail event with a call on all stakeholders in the port and shipping industry to resort to dialogue as they seek ways of resolving challenges confronting the industry. The annual cocktail event is aimed at bringing players in the port and shipping industry together for networking and discussion of pertinent issues pertaining to the industry. The interactive and informal gathering was attended by chief executives of vessels calling the country's ports and representatives from the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority, Meridian Port Services, Ghana Shippers Authority, the Shippers Council of the Sahelin countries, the Association of the Customs House Agents Ghana, the Member of Parliament for Tema Central, Honorable Yves Norte, and a Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Herbert Krapper. An executive member of SOAAG, Adam Morayana, called for dialogue and commended stakeholders for their immense commitment and contribution towards ensuring that there was business continuity in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Whatever the issues are, whatever the challenges are, I think let's dialogue, because that is the only way forward. Our doors are always open. We know we have challenges, you also have challenges. So if we judge, we can only come up with solutions.
The CEO of MPS, Mohamed Samara, decried the low volumes of trade so far due to what he described as economic issues, but expressed optimism that the second half of the year will bring some positive prospects.
We are all optimistic. Speaking to most of you, we think that the second half of this year is going to be back to normal, or we're going to see some uprise. And what is really happening, we are benchmarking this year against the best year ever in the history of the port, which is also not an easy benchmark, to achieve.
The Tema Sector Commander of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Julius Kantum, called for cooperation among stakeholders to ensure that Customs achieves its revenue target.
I know that there is a lot of work to be done, and I need your cooperation, as well as you need my commitments to resolving those issues. So let's work as a team and then see how we can sanitize the space so that we can promote our businesses, and I will get my revenue.
The Director General of the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority, Michael Luguje, assured the shipping lines and the business community that the authority will continue to create the enabling environment for their businesses to thrive.
For us as Ghana Port and Harbors Authority, I think it has been a very fruitful collaboration working with you. We've appreciated the cooperation and understanding over the years. Indeed, during the COVID, all the challenges we had and the need for cargo to still keep moving, you cooperated with us. Many of you shut your offices and introduced quickly online versions. But I think each time we called any of you from your rooms with your face mask on, you did everything possible to make sure that you address the challenges that were at stake. And together, we managed to keep the ports open and cargoes moving.
A Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Herbert Krapper, assured the shipping lines of the ministry's support because of the crucial role they play in trade facilitation.
Your role in the work that we do at our ministry is significant. If you understand the scope of trade and industry, you know that it is only logical to put the logistics department and sector at the helm, at the top of affairs. Logistics plays a very crucial role in the trade facilitation regime, and we will not be able to reap the dividend of all the work that we're doing if trade facilitation is not functioning.
The event was used to unveil the new logo of the Ship Owners and Agents Association of Ghana.
The President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, has commissioned 2 ultra-modern IHC Beaver 50 dredger and marine equipment, the first of its kind to be owned by a wholly owned Ghanaian company. The equipment belongs to Dredge Masters Limited a subsidiary of the Jospon Group, and adds up to the existing fleet of equipment used to provide marine engineering solutions. The 2 beaver cutter suction dredgers can dredge up to 60 meters and enhances the company's capacity for large dredging projects, including ports, dams, reservoirs, and rivers. The president said the acquisition of these world-class equipment will enable high-level marine engineering projects to be executed indigenously.
We do not need to look outside anymore when it comes to the dredging of dams, reservoirs, ports, harbors, and inland reclamation activities. The vision of moving Ghana to a situation beyond aid is being assisted by the support being offered by companies such as the Jospon Group.
The Minister of Transport, Kweku Foresiama, said this feat may translate into reduced cost into port infrastructure developments in Ghana.
Mr. President, for us as the Minister of Transport and GPHA, we hope that today will be the end of one of our Achilles heels. Why we need to wait for a long time before we get a dredger to do our work, and also the high cost associated with it. We hope that the launch of this facility will help us to get machines on time to do our work and also do it at a reduced cost.
The executive chairman of Jospon Group of Companies, Dr. Joseph Siao Ejipon, said the company's fleet of maritime equipment worth 54 million euros will help deliver on the vision to build a suitable marine future.
Dredge Masters Limited is committed to high quality, sustainability, environmental protection, and upholding high standards. The company is also fully committed to achieving the sustainable development goals in all its endeavors.
All right, so those were happenings in the port and shipping industry in the country in the course of the week. And we're now going for what is happening on the global stage in the port and shipping industry.
French shipping major CMA CGM has carried out its first liquefied natural gas bunkering operation in Spain, together with energy companies Enegas and Repsol. Conducted at the beginning of May, it was the first pipe-to-ship LNG bunkering operation on a container ship at Enegas regasification plant in Cartagena terminal. Specifically, the vessel named Borealis, owned by CMA CGM's intra-European subsidiary container ships, was bunkered in this operation. The shipping major aims to have 44 of its vessels powered by LNG as a part of its target to become carbon neutral by 2050. To achieve this aim, CMA CGM selected Wärtsilä, the Finnish technology group, to supply a range of solutions for its new-build LNG container ships and support its maritime decarbonization operations. The Maritime Executive, an online international news portal, reports that amid growing risk of famine in parts of the Middle East and Africa, the Russian government has held out hopes that it might allow millions of tons of Ukrainian food to reach the global south, but only as part of a deal on sanctions relief for Russia. Russia has imposed a naval blockade on all Ukrainian ports, including the key agricultural export hub of Odessa. An estimated 22 million tons of grain are stuck in Ukraine because seaborne commerce is fully cut off. Ukraine cannot sell its crops, and import-dependent nations like Lebanon and Egypt cannot buy them. The problem is set to worsen by the end of the summer because there is no room in the silos to store the next harvest. Meanwhile, a food crisis is growing in import-dependent countries. In the response to the need for more shipping companies to address the import emissions of their vessels, California-based Clean Air Engineering Maritime is expanding its fleet of innovative scrubber barges to service California ports. The company is building a new 85-foot-long self-propelled barge at the Greenbrier Company shipyard in Portland, Oregon, that will be operated to capture and treat stuck exhaust of vessels in the port of Long Beach and Los Angeles, California. The company also plans to produce more of these barges that can be operated in several other California seaports.
You're welcome back. It's now time for us to zoom into our discussion proper tonight. And tonight we're taking a look at how we can leverage on world-class equipment and professionals to ensure a sustainable future for our marine industry in this country. And you just saw a story where a local company acquired some world-class marine equipment. That's Dredge Masters. And you heard a figure, 54 million euros. That's no mean an amount. And so we just want to find out today how we can leverage on these equipment and professionals to ensure a sustainable future for our marine sector. With me in the studios tonight, we have Captain Ansar Ahmed Khan. He is Managing Director at Dredge Masters. And we also have in the studios Sena Kofi Adiepena. He's also Operations Manager, Dredge Masters. Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good evening.
We're glad to have you. And since this is your first time on the show, we have a tradition. We say, Happy New Year. We're almost 6 months into the new year, but since this is your first time on the show and we're seeing you here, we say Happy New Year to you. Right, we just want to find out from you, Captain, first, if you can run us through a background of Dredge Masters.
Dredge Masters started its operation in second half of 2015 in response to a tragedy which is called 3rd June disaster, which claimed about 150 lives and millions of properties was damaged. And in response, Jospong Group responded very fast and they set up a dredging company called Dredge Masters. So basically it started as a flood control company, and we successfully minimized the flood incidents at Odo Channel since then. And then we took a major flood control project in White Volta River in northern region. And from there we got into other segments of dredging. We did a near shore dredging in western region for ENI, for a gas project. And later we did a port maintenance dredging at Port of Monrovia, Liberia. So basically, we realized that dredging being a capital-intensive industry, it drains the resources of not only Ghana, African nations to offshore. And on top of it, when you need dredgers, they are not available. So it's a double trouble basically. So we realized as a group that there should be our own alternative where we can have equipment, world-class equipment, and people trained in world-class institutions so that we can develop local talent, so we can offer to dredging market an African solution to African needs. And taking this theme forward, as you mentioned just now, we have acquired 2 Beaver 50 dredgers, 501416, to enhance our capability to dredge up to 16 meters. So now we can cater to the ports of harbors, rivers, flood control, dams, reservoirs. And on top of it, because of climate change, sea is rising about 3.4 millimeter per year, which is not causing only flooding of coastal areas, at the same time coastal erosion. So dredging has become extremely critical because of climate change. Now what you have flooding at one side, you have shortage of drinking water because of lack of rains, dams being choked. If you see dams all over the third world countries, they were made during colonial era, and most of the dams and reservoirs are fully silted and choked, and their drainage, their drinking water capacity has become very low. So climate is playing havoc now, and dredging and coastal protection plays a very, very major role.
Right.
And their Dredge Master comes in with our own solution for our own needs.
Right. Okay, let me come to you, Operations Manager Sina, and find out. He mentioned the fact that this company was started in 2002 in response to this disaster that we had here in Ghana, and that was something that prompted you to venture into this particular industry. That's the Just One Group.
Yes.
Since 2002, can you tell us some of the major projects that you have undertaken?
Since 2002, actually, 2015 was when Dredge Masters was birthed.
Right.
Due to the disaster.
Yeah.
And since then, after that's post, we have actually been on the Odor Koli project since then till date, trying to ensure that we control flooding within that Odor basin. Beyond that, we have embarked on I'll start with the local projects. Ghana Water companies, a lot of their substations, starting from Daboase, Barakese, Bosumase, and in the Koforidua, in Sawam, Ghana Water substations, they've engaged us to carry out a number of dredging activities at their intakes. And as he mentioned, we have also undertaken a flood control project at the north. That's the White Volta tributaries. So we have the Sicily and Coupon rivers, who were there 2019 to ensure that we deepen those channels to reduce the impact of the rainfall and then the spillage of the dam within the communities in that area.
Right.
And then we've also had the opportunity to work with the ENI swimmers, where on 2 occasions, one on the shore pool, where they were trying to connect offshore gas facility to an onshore receiving facility. We supported the operation, and then post-trenching activities, so we're there on 2 occasions to support that under the oil and gas project in Sanzule Atuabo. And yes, we've done some related civil works. We are into coastal protection. Beyond dredging, we also undertake coastal protection. On the international space, we have dredged the free port of Monrovia. That's in Liberia. Their channel was heavily silted to allow for bigger vessels to come in. We were engaged by the state to carry out some dredging activity there. And since then, we are looking at going to bigger projects. That's why we have brought in the beavers. In addition to the beavers, they have 2 workboats that support. It's not just the IHC, 2 IHC beaver cutter suction dredgers, but they have come along with the 2 DMC Delta multi-craft workboat to supporting dredging operations.
You tell us, you walk us through the equipment you have and the kind of work that they do, in the course of the show. But I just want to find out from you what the experience was like when you got that contract to dredge the Freetown port in Monrovia.
Well, that was welcoming and quite an experience. One of the biggest, because we actually partnered with a European company to execute that. It's one of our biggest to date. And we are looking forward to doing more because that is one of the gateway to port infrastructure development, because as we are all aware, a lot of trade happens via sea. And beyond the air, air is faster, but in terms of volumes of goods coming in, the sea is the most preferred. And it's only through the ports that you can receive these goods. So that our focus is to ensure that these ports that receive the vessels, our services are made available to them. So beyond the free port, we are also looking at the Tema port and Takrady port also, and the port of Togo, along the coastlines where we have the port, Lomé port, and Port Abidjan port. We are looking at also engaging with them and seeing how best we can.
We'll come into your preparedness to venture into the West African market. We'll come to that. But let me come to Captain Khan and find out from you how much work of your scope of work goes into the port industry, and how prepared are you to, take up challenges as far as Ghana's port development requirements are concerned?
You see, ports are very, very critical for supply chain for the world economy. If you go by figures, 80% of the trade in the world by volume and 70% by, if you say in dollar terms, 70% of value happens through ships all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's about 3 trillion per year as per 2020 figures. So maritime trade is extremely important for any country to survive and prosper. So with these dredges, we can deepen ports to 16 meters and maintain them, as well as with our partners in Europe. We can even carry out maintenance dredging, periodic maintenance dredging to maintain the depth. So we can create the depth as well as maintain it. So ports can be maintained to 16 meters now, anywhere in Africa or anywhere in the world for that matter. So we are fully geared for it. So to me, this is a very, very big leap into maritime sector as far as Ghana is concerned and West Africa is concerned, that we can deepen our ports ourselves without depending upon others. And not only equipment, we have trained talented staff which has been trained by European suppliers and equipment suppliers as well as training schools, so that we can dredge ourselves. We don't have to depend upon experts too much,
expertise.
Except 1 or 2%. But 90% of our crew and staff is Ghanaian. And we want to repeat this experiment with all our vessels which we buy. So basically, the sustainable marine future by African company for Africa.
All right. The Minister for Transport made mention of the fact that he lamented the high cost of dredging and the general port infrastructure and believes that your company, Dredge Masters, would help avert this particular phenomenon. Is this something you're
exactly.
looking at,
This is very true.
ameliorating?
Traditionally, dredging has been dominated by 4 or 5 European companies because it's highly capital intensive. And even training of people as well as getting staff is very, very costly and cumbersome. So this technology is almost remained European, except few small companies here and there, and Chinese are venturing into it now, and India does for its own country. So this need was felt for very long. And thanks to management of Jospong, they took a major leap of faith to put so much capital and so much effort to build the capacity here. Now, a port does not have to wait for a foreign company to come at a very, very high cost, and that too at their own schedule. If you want them in November, they will say they will come next November. They're too busy.
Right.
But here now we have our own equipment, our own people at our own cost, as well as availability is immediate. So to me is a major, major difference. And secondly, because we collaborate with a lot of international companies, so know-how, technology is always available at the right time.
All right. Let me come to you, Adiapena. You made mention of the Odo Kole project, which you, if I recall, said began in 2015.
Yes, please.
And we are in 2022, so 7 years down the line. We have rains, just at least rains, and Accra is flooded, and there's Wahala everywhere. Tell us about the state of this particular project.
So, as we're speaking, we're on the sixth phase of the project. Starting from phase 1, that's 2015 till date. We've completed 5 stages of it, or phases, maintenance dredging. We started in 2015 as a capital dredging, where we had to ensure that we restore the design of the Odo and Kole back to its condition to allow for ease of flow. Subsequent to that, we've been on the ground continuously maintaining it to ensure that there's no flooding incident. And thankfully, since then, within the Odo Kole, there's been no flooding. A number of the flooding incidents that have been recorded has been on the outside our scope, because the focus points where we have our equipment or where we are maintaining has not experienced flooding post 2015. recent occurrence with our door was...
If you can lift your microphone up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So under the phase 5 of, that was what was recently completed, was limited under the scope to the Kole Lagoon, which we completed a few months ago. And within this rainy season, we've not experienced flooding. The scope for phase 6 is now within the outdoors drain, the line section, which we are on the ground now, currently cleaning to ensure that as we start approaching the heavy rainfall period, that's in June, we don't expect to have any flooding within the outdoor. So work is steadily progressive and it's ongoing, because there's a need to continuously maintain and ensure that free flow is ensured within those drains, finally into the sea. But then again, we can't speak of dredging without looking at the downsides of it, where we have the challenges of squatters also who continuously throw waste indiscriminately into the drains. They have their lifestyle, they generate waste.
I was about coming there. When Captain was speaking, he mentioned choked gutters.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned, okay, you I think you were the one that mentioned that. You mentioned your coastal protection and all that.
Yes.
And day in and day out, you look at the seas, you look at the oceans, and realize that it's so full of filth.
Well, the intention for the coastal protection is not just...
You come to coastal protection, but finish with the outdoor.
All right, sure.
And the kind of challenges that you are facing in your quest to ameliorate the situation and,
yes. So,
get
yes.
things flowing smoothly.
Sure, thank you. So then what I mentioned about waste generated by illegal squatters along the channel, which adds to or aggravates the situation, which leads to the flooding. They also pose as a risk to equipment and personnel along there, because that serves as the access for equipment also to work. So as they are creating a nuisance and throwing their waste and sweeping into and making the situation even more difficult, they are also delaying the work by also you find the structures along the banks, and we'll have to call on authorities to drive them away before we continue with work. In addition to that, we have structures also on waterways, which ideally should allow free flow, but then because of where these structures are also sited. And generally, due to the increase in numbers, population, there's also that school of thought that there needs to be a real look at the entire drainage system, the engineering behind it, see how... Because there's been quite a lot of development along this stretch. A lot of encroachment, a lot of superstructures have come up, with all of them channeling their wastewater into the drain, so that it has increased the volumes that are coming in on a daily basis. So that during times like this, we also need to look at expanding and putting in a much more solid drainage system to meet the growing population and infrastructure within the coastal, the city. Yeah.
Because it's disheartening sometimes when it rains and you see the whole of Accra flooded, and people struggling, their wares, their goods, their personal belongings and all the personal effects, cars, commercial and private.
Yes, so you have these also smaller connecting drains that also contribute to that, because you have all this network of small drains that feed finally into the major drain. These smaller drains, ideally, as you have in front of your homes, need to be also cleaned and need to be maintained to ensure the free flow. But then you realize that a lot of the overflow or overspill of the drains starts from these inner communities, where these small drains are not allowing flow because of the waste and debris that's within the drain. So these poorly maintained drains also contribute to the flooding within the inner communities, before we talk of the bigger drain.
Right.
So it's a comprehensive, we need to look at the bigger picture. It goes beyond, flooding within Accra goes beyond the Kole and Odo. Yes, that's one of the biggest drainage systems within the city.
Yeah.
But then you hear of flooding, most of the time it's not around there. You hear in Nungwa, you hear in Nema. Nema is not far from there, but then that's outside our scope.
So what do you want us to believe, that it's work in progress?
we need to look at it holistically. But what we have been tasked to, work on, which based on the 2015 disaster. Yes, that is work has been done. Significant amount of work has been done to ensure that there's no flooding within that section. But then we need to also go
within the area you have been given to work on.
Exactly. Okay. But we also need to look at, we have the capacity to do more drains, both construction of drains and maintenance of drains. We have the capacity to do that. And we need to look at the entire drainage system and see how best we can also put our resources together.
So it means you are looking at government coming to you to put pen and paper together, and then you can broaden your scope.
Exactly. We can look at broadening the scope and going beyond the Odo Koli and look at other areas which are, because we have areas in Dansoman, the Lafa drain, and then in Teshinungwa, there's also a drain that leads into the sea. There are big, and then we have the Peshi Lagoon also, that also needs to be dredged because that's within the Labadi Teshi community. Tema also, you have the Chemu Lagoon. So there are quite a number of drains. We have actually done some of them before, but it's not as frequent as attention is given to the Odo and Kole. So yes, that's basically
it. Captain, you wanted to add up to what you were saying. I realized you wanted to...
what wanted to add was that it's not only problem of Accra. It's basically all coastal cities are facing this problem. Because what happens, coastal cities attract a lot of population. They become economic centers. Like, for example, Mumbai in India.
Right.
So coastal cities are normally at the sea level. So coastal cities have not caught up with the influx of population. So infrastructure has to be developed according to the rise in population.
Right.
And population density has increased, for which Accra was not planned initially.
So there's a lot of pressure.
Exactly. So that pressure has to be released by infrastructure development, shifting the focus from only on one city, like Kumasi is coming up, few West Coast cities are coming up. So we have to decongest this place, one. And secondly, we have to improve waste management, where I've seen Zoomland is focusing and government is also focusing. More has to be done because basically it's simple physics behind it. The moment you slow down water, if speed of water goes down when it's flowing, it will deposit.
Right.
So when you dump waste, it's not only it occupies the space, even small space which is left for water to go, it slows down the flow. So you will have deposits. So again you will have congestion.
Right.
So to me, infrastructure has to be developed, pressure on Accra has to be reduced, other cities have to take up some pressure from Accra, infrastructure has to develop, as well as we should refrain from dumping wherever we want. Now we have elaborate system with the cooperation of government and Zoomland that if we have slight attitudinal change, we can have exponential benefits.
All right.
Which I wanted to.
Yeah, let me try and find out about your capacity, whether you have the requisite capacity to deliver on world-class projects and the kind of expertise that you have at your disposal.
Yeah, if you see Dredge Master alone, then we have capacity to dredge anything up to 16 meters, including reclaimed land. Dredging can only make depth. Dredging can even close the sea or water bodies and make land.
Right.
Like what is happening in Lagos.
Yeah.
Lagos is a prime example where land is being created by dredging.
Yes.
And secondly, we have international partners with us who provide us help in those areas where we don't have equipment as such. Like Twitter suction dredges. They are very, very huge. And they have to be occupied at least 6 to 8 months. And it takes few years to come to develop and reach at that level.
Right.
But we have long-term contracts with leading dredging companies of the world. So if we see Dredge Master as well as Dredge Master partners, we bring holistic solution. We can do any work anywhere in world and particularly in Africa at any time.
Right.
So now capacity is not an issue. What we own, we have water masters, amphibious dredgers, 6 of them, a huge associated equipment, now cutter section dredgers, plus in partnership with our partners, we are ready to undertake any work anywhere at any time.
All right. Let me come back to you. I told you about the coastal protection, bit of your job that you do. Tell us about it and what's your scope in terms of this particular project?
So basically, this has to do with the Ningo Pram coastal protection. This was as a result of the eroding of the coastline by the wave actions, and the government saw the need to quickly intervene to prevent a lot of the structures that were on the coastline from being washed into the sea, as we have in other southern sectors of the country, especially with the case of Keita and beyond. That's the eastern descent, So the scope basically is to construct groins along that to trap sediments and build up the coastline naturally through that engineering, and also allow for the fisher folks to have their small fishing landing beach in order to not affect their livelihood, source of livelihood. So that's basically in brief what the coastal protection.
There again, I think that you need to expand your scope, because it's not only the Ningo Pram area. We have other coastal areas that you need to cover.
So,
and like I said, if sometimes you walk or you visit the beaches, you realize there's a lot of filth there. And we need these beaches cleaned. And so if Dredge Masters is working in the Ningo Pram area as a bit of your coastal protection, what do we call it, project, I think that we need to encapsulate the others. Maybe, again, you will have to go back to government to have perhaps put pen to paper, and then you can expand that bit as well.
Yes. So, well, the primary aim of protection is not to clean the sea of filth and debris. Those are what that has, as my MD mentioned, has to do with more of attitudinal change.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You mentioned as well,
Yes, and we have a sister company, Ecozo, who is into that cleaning of the coastal beach line from all waste, but primarily coastal protection is to reduce the impact of the waves on the coastline to prevent the erosion of and minimizing our territorial land.
Absolutely.
So that there are a lot of, we are aware, data show that our coastline is eroding gradually, and we need to quickly act. So you have a number of coastlines being protected along the coastline of Ghana, right from the western to the eastern. A lot more has to be done. A lot of areas have been identified. We are still in discussion with the government for areas that have been identified to quickly come in, and since we have the capacity to carry out that, we are in talks with them. And beyond the coastline also, construction of ports is also key, because we are looking at also the Keita area where already there's plans to construct the ports there. So that's
I think the stage with the Keita port is the environmental impact assessment.
Yes.
It's been advertised, and people are showing interest, and so pretty shortly I'm sure that would swing into action, and then
exactly. So once the dredging bits, we are very ready. I mean, well resourced and well positioned to undertake that, and by extension, the funds that go, I mean, be it a grant or a loan, it stays within the country. We are not looking at money that has been taken on loan to go out, but it stays within, and then the locals, the indigenous people who are going to be part of this can gladly, say that they were also part of this success.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, the Ningo Pram project, how long has it been on, and how would you describe it? Successful? So far, the work you've done there?
Yeah, it's good. Yes, I would say it's successful. We are about 90% through. Yes, and we are hoping that by the end of this year, we should be able to hand over the project.
Are the people there happy with your work?
Oh, very happy, very happy. I mean, in fact, the fishing activity is still ongoing, I mean, we haven't interrupted anything. Structures that were washed, I mean, we have reclaimed, done some backfill to ensure that the ground stability is firm. Structures can be put up if required. And there's also, I mean, there's a master plan to it, but for now, we are sticking to our scope to just ensure that the coastline doesn't erode further.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I told you I would come to you so that you list the kind of machines you have and the type of work that they do.
Yes. So
we just heard a figure, the recent ones that you outdoored, and we heard a figure, 54 million euros.
Yes.
This don't mean an amount.
It's true. I mean, well, the 54 million euros is looking at the entire fleet of dredge masters, both marine and support equipment. So we have a combination of marine craft and then earth-moving support equipment.
Right.
So I would naturally start with the marine craft because those are flagship equipment. So we have from the new ones, the two IC Beaver cutter suction dredgers. We have the two DMC, that's a multi-craft wet boats. We have 6 water masters. Well, so with the IC Beaver cutter suction dredgers, it has a depth of 60 meters. For the water masters, amphibious dredgers, which works in 5 different modes. That's the specialty about it.
Right.
So it can do the cutter suction as the Beaver does. It can work in a backhoe mode, work in rake, piling, and then and clamshell. So that's 5. In addition to that, it has a limitation of 6 meters dredging capacity. That's depth. That is so suitable for more shallow water dredging as compared to the Beaver that's for deep water dredging. So, and purpose for shallow channels, canals, rivers that are a depth range of, I mean, up to 6 meters.
Right.
And we have 6 of that. And then we have specialized barges that are self-propelled with a capacity of about 50 cubic. That is basically when, for those who don't understand how the barge operates, I mean, when you dredge in a backhoe mode, like an excavator, you dredge and place it in the barge, and it moves close to the shoreline, and then it's unloaded. So then for very big water bodies where depending on the nature and the engineering design and what has the method of dredging that has been agreed with, if it's not cutter suction, then we work in backhoe mode. So that also we have 8 of them.
Right.
Of the water, and then we have specialized long reach excavators up to a reach of 18 meters for channels and rivers that are quite narrow, where you don't really require to deploy very huge marine craft. These are also for dredging purposes. So we have about 10 of these long reach excavators. And then we have dozers, dump trucks, excavators, standard excavators, and tipper trucks, payloaders, and basically quite a number of fleets to ensure that for whatever dredging services carried out, the main dredging marine craft equipment is available, and then we have its support for other civil works also. Related civil works.
So in sum, how many equipment would you say you can boast of as a company?
Closely, we're looking at over 60.
60 equipment, okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let me come to you, Captain, and find out from you. You made mention of the fact that you don't depend on foreign expertise. Your employees are made of 99% perhaps local, and you don't depend on foreign expertise at all. And now that you have begun to acquire more equipment and all that, are you looking at adding up to your numbers in terms of job creation?
Yeah, staff we are adding, and basically we are trying to concentrate on the young graduates, technical graduates who are coming out from colleges, so they can be trained here, and if required with our partners in foreign countries, so that the young talent, which is very modern, and very tech savvy. It's easy to train them because they're just raw, they have right attitude and technology driven in modern times. They're in tune with modern times because these dredgers which are coming now, including this Beavers what we have, they're highly automated.
Right.
In fact, if I tell you one thing, that if you want to see on your mobile phone what they're doing, anywhere in the world you can see them, what they're doing on the site.
Right.
So technology driven things have come in dredging. Dredging is now highly technical. And I find our technical talent is quite good. RMU is there. A lot of technical universities are there. Because what you need is mechanical engineers, civil engineers. Pleased to inform you that Dredge Master has realized that there was a gap in specialized civil engineering works. Nobody was touching them. Highly specialized ones.
Right.
That also we have started doing as an allied service. So we need lots of engineers. I'm very happy with the young talent available in Ghana.
And so are you still calling for more engineers to come?
Sure. And we periodically keep taking people. In fact, it's an ongoing process and it continues almost all the time.
All right. This is a very big channel, so I'm sure engineers who are seeking for employment are watching, and so don't be surprised.
They are most welcome.
If tomorrow morning you get to your office and you see...
They are most welcome.
All right, so you made mention of some of the projects that you have undertaken so far as a company, and internationally I think that Monrovia, the Freetown port, is what you mentioned, and he also mentioned plans to hit Togo, the Lomé port and other neighboring countries to see if you can do some work for you. Now that you've acquired this equipment, how soon do we expect that Dredge Masters would hit the international scene and perhaps begin to take big contracts and rake in some more revenue and make Ghana proud?
As we talk today, dredgers are ready to roll in anywhere. In fact, we are talking to government of Ghana as well as other foreign countries for dredgers to be deployed. And very soon you will hear good news. And basically, at the moment, market is hungry for dredgers. If you see dams all over the Africa, all dams are choked. Even Ghana water has got about, if I'm not wrong, 11 large dams, which are heavily silted. About northern Nigeria has about 20 dams which are heavily silted. So demand is very high. And we hope to conclude fast few of these projects.
All right, so let me come to you. There's this question that has just come in by one of our viewers. He says, "Good evening, Iron Port. Kindly ask your guests what it will take for them to compete with the big dredging companies like China Harbour Engineering Company and Jan Dinu."
They know.
Captain, you want to attend?
Okay, I'll take this question. As far as CHEC is concerned, China Harbour. China Harbour basically is a state-sponsored company of government of China. I should not say this way, but then if I put as a layman, they are new in dredging. But they are being supported by the government, so they have more financial powers than others.
Yes.
So technically, if I should not say that, but there may not be much of a match to Dredge Masters, technically. I'm not talking about their financial resources. Technically, we are very strong. We can even compete with them anywhere in the world. When I say Dredge Master and his partners.
Yes.
Yandanal and Boskalis and other companies, they are about 150 years old companies. And their turnover is in billion of euros. So, to challenge them on world scale is not feasible at this moment. But yes, in Africa we can challenge them with our partners. Why so? In dredging there are two major issues, even if you have money. There are two major issues. One issue is when you need dredgers, they are not available. So, and when you need today, a port cannot be closed waiting for a dredger. Or expansion of Tema port cannot wait for a dredger to come after say 6 months or 1 year. So you need now. And secondly, mobilization cost from foreign shores is very, very high. And mobilization cost is extremely important. It can be as high as 15 to 20% of the project. So because we are situated here, first we can move on time, and secondly, mobilization cost is nothing in comparison to equipment coming from Europe or China. And third thing is that we can sit down with governments and plan with them, with their budgets, with their programs, so that we are ready when they want us. We can even, like Ghana government, we all can sit down together and plan for 2023, 24, 25, so that we are ready to come in when they want. So this kind of close cooperation can happen only if it is an indigenous company.
All right. You talked about cooperation, and you mentioned earlier in your submission that you're working closely with the Ghana Water Company Limited. They're giving you a lot of jobs to do, and I believe that you are still in touch with them and working for them and all that. Are you looking at reaching out to other agencies that you can work with? We have the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority. We have the Ghana Maritime Authority. We have other agencies in the
Water River Authority, the Ministry of Transport. Yes, we have. They are basically part of the stakeholder community, and we have contacted, or we have listed down all of these potential clients and contacted them, sent proposal. We've identified some of the challenges within their sector and what could be done to help support them, ensure that this could be, put to rest, if for lack of better word. So that, yes, we are constantly engaging a bit for the fact that dredging by itself, it's quite capital intensive.
Yes.
We are also looking at funding so that it's also going to be part of the proposal, how best we could raise funds to, if at the moment, undertake the project. If at the moment it's not something which they can fit into their budget, then we look at the alternative.
You have flexible payment terms, perhaps.
Exactly, and it's about just sitting down and finding a middle ground where we can both agree to move in under these conditions and then start. So yes, it goes. It's not just the Ghana Water. Water Resources Commissions are also the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation. And basically all the water bodies in the country, we have identified all of them, in addition to even the Galamsey sites where the waters have been badly damaged. We have also contacted the ministry, see how best we can help ensure that these waters are restored and the land around them also reclaimed and put in the best of conditions so that farming or any other commercial activity can be undertaken there. So we are looking at the entire nation at whole, and even beyond Ghana, West Africa, and Africa at large.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Senator Kofi Adeyepena is Operations Manager for Dredge Masters, and also in the studios with us is Captain Ansar Ahmed Khan. He is Managing Director at Dredge Masters, and tonight we're discussing how to leverage world-class equipment and professionals for a sustainable marine future in our country, Ghana. This is Highland Port here on Metropolitan Television. We're going for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience that is less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the IC covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima.
Tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
All right, so you're welcome back. I'm going straight into the discussion once again, and I've been told by my producers that we can activate the phone lines now. And so the number to dial is 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. Still in the inbox, there's this message that has come from Isaac, who is watching us all the way in Sunyani. He says he's asking whether our guests do breakwaters and sea defense projects. Do you do breakwater and sea defense projects?
Yes,
That's a question from one of our viewers.
So sea defense, as I mentioned earlier, we are currently undertaking one. So breakwaters, as part of port construction, port and harbors construction, yes, we undertake that. Other services like bathymetry survey, geotechnical services, all the marine-related services that go with the dredging and port construction, we undertake all of those services. Yes.
All right. So far, how would you say your collaboration with government has been? What support have you gotten from government, and what extra support would you need to achieve your goals as dredge masters?
So basically, government has been very cooperative. I mean, they appreciate the need for dredging, as I mentioned earlier. That's why a lot of they've engaged us on a number of projects, yes, including other state institutions. So on that bit, cooperation level is super. Other support is to see to it that they push a lot of these dredging contracts, especially for those that go out to the foreigners and foreign companies, those that earlier European competitors, you see us be a part of it. Local content dredging, that should be, a policy that if it's activated or passed, you see us, money staying within the country where we can also equally undertake some of these services. And the support, as the Chinese government supports China Harbour, we are also praying that the state also supports dredge masters in undertaking all of these dredging services, and they are backing, especially as we go out into the international market. yes, put in a word or push us. Yeah.
Do you have an idea as to the number of dredging companies we have in Ghana?
It's well, I think there are other small ones, but we are currently the biggest. I mean, not to blow my horn too loud, but I don't see any local competitor that can match our capacity.
All right, let's go onto the phone lines and welcome Jeffrey onto the phone lines. When we come back, you'd give us. You seem to want to say you have the bragging rights. Sure. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening. I'd like to just commend your guests on the show. I think they're really doing a good job, Dredge Masters, and I just want to say big them up once again, and just keep up doing a good work for Mother Ghana.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Jeffrey from North Legon. He just called in. He's bigging you guys up, like in his own words. He's giving you big ups. And so I was seeking to find out from you the number of dredging companies you have in Ghana. You don't seem to have an idea as to how many they are, but you think that you come up tops.
Yes.
Captain, you have. I want to believe that you have traveled across Africa.
Before that, I wanted to add one thing about cooperation with government. I have engaged, if you see World Bank mandate now, World Bank has given SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals, and in which climate change is priority. And then by default, it is basically dredging, one of the major activities. And I've seen a lot of financial institutions all over the world are very, very interested in financing marine projects. So where government can come in, they need some sort of guarantee.
Right.
So that the investment is safe.
Absolutely.
So that government can come in, because I see great hunger in financial market for not only for financial reasons. Even water is a priority, let it be oceans or drinking water. So there are a lot of financial institutions who are very ready to come in.
Right.
Only thing is they need some sort of guarantee from government for the investment and funds.
Right.
If that can happen, lot of big projects can be taken simultaneously.
All right, I'll come back to you, Captain Khan, and find out from you what our focus should be if we want to have a sustainable marine sector in Ghana. But let me come to you, Sina, and then ask this question. Somebody has sent it in. It says, great discussion, I import. Ask Dredge Masters how they are tackling the challenges of climate change head on by creating new machinery and finding indigenous ways to use the environment itself to assist their projects.
Can I get creating new what?
New machines, according to new machinery, and finding indigenous ways to use the environment itself to assist your projects.
Okay, so we are not into the business
manufacture of
machines,
sure.
But we are a growing company. I wouldn't say we have that number of years of experience. We are since 2015, yes, basically 7 years, and we are still. As you can see, we are adding to the fleet, depending on the needs and the requirements of the economy and the state. So that with respect to global warming, yes, it has an impact on the coastline. As we can tell, we are into the coastal protection and constructing of any civil infrastructure along the coast. We can mitigate the impact of the waves along the coastline. Then again, if there's any requirement for projects, since we are a marine company at sea, we are, I think, in the best of position together with our partners, if the need requires, to execute any project of any magnitude with the backing of the government.
That will meet international standards.
Yes, that will meet definitely, because I mean, we are ISO 9001, 14001, and 45001 certified company.
Right.
So we deliver top-notch service and quality on any marine-based project. So with respect to the question, I mean, yes, we are in the best of positions to
be able to deal with it. All right, let's go on to the phone lines and welcome Stephen. He's calling us from Tema. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, I just want to make a little contribution on the show.
Come again, Steve.
I just want to make a little contribution on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so concerning the flooding and all that, so if you are to go into the flooding, it entails a lot. You know, Accra is a big city.
Yeah.
And we're more or less not having a bare land. All our lands have been built on, and we keep on compacting our lands. You know, when it rains, some of the water has to infiltrate through the ground, percolate and joins our groundwater.
Yeah.
But here is all our lands have been hardened up. You see, so the water doesn't get that chance to infiltrate and percolate, join our groundwater. And this is going to be a worry in the near future. You get it? So, you know, I'm into that assertion that we should encourage story buildings.
Right.
Story we build, we float up, we flow on the top, and maybe if we do not have the money to build on it, at least for now, our children, our grandchildren will have the chance to build on it.
Absolutely.
In the future. You see, Accra is an industrial area.
Right. Right. Thank you very much, Stephen. We are grateful to you. Your point is well made and well noted. I don't think that it needs any response from any of you. So,
it's a very good observation.
Absolutely, yes. Very, very good observation. Thank you very much indeed, Steve, for that contribution. I said I would come to you and find out if we want to have a sustainable marine sector in Ghana, what should our focus be? But before then, I know you are widely traveled and you would have noticed the number of dredging companies we have. Let's just even limit it to West Africa. Can you tell us the number of dredging companies we have and how they are faring?
Basically, Africa does not have big dredging companies. If I can say there's a one TNPL, a small company in South Africa, which does its own port jobs. Then you have very, very small companies which are not significant. Then other big market is Nigeria.
Yeah.
But Nigeria is dominated by very, very small companies, a fractured market.
Right.
Because why is it fractured? Because Nigeria, especially Lagos and Port Harcourt, they're facing serious pressure on land. So basically the entire focus is to reclaim land
from the
and
sea.
build on it. So they don't want to do anything else. So Nigerian companies basically don't come to market.
Right.
Because they're only focused on land reclamation in and around Lagos or Port Harcourt.
Right.
And
Captain, let me interrupt you a bit. You continue from there when we come back. We have one of our guests, one of our callers, Senyo, is calling in, I don't know from where, but good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. How you doing?
I'm terrific, by His grace. We are all fine. Thank you very much for calling.
Yeah, just to have a contribution to your program.
Yes, please do.
I want to appreciate the good work that Dredge Masters is doing, considering what they have done in the Odo River. Now we can see the effect the whole country is benefiting. And also, as he has said, what they have done at Ningo Pram. I just want to hope that the new equipment that they have brought now is going to provide a lot more relief to Ghanaians first before other, West African regional countries.
Right.
So it's my prayer that very soon we'll see them dredging the Wager River and other, vital facilities that will ease the dredging, or let me say the flooding situation in the country. So just to acknowledge the good work Captain and Senna are doing, and we hope that they will include, I know they have that already, they will train more smaller companies to, come up to speed, because as they grow, there are some of the things that they might not be looking at, but they carry, the smaller companies along, so that once they grow, other companies are also growing and the whole country will be benefiting. So good job, good job. I'm happy to see this equipment in Ghana, and it's a new day. It's a new day. They should keep up doing the good job, and we believe that the whole...
Thank you very much, Promise Senyo in Accra for this call. I think he's also happy with your work. You were in Nigeria when
exactly.
Senyo's call
So
came
what
through.
I was saying, Nigeria is totally focused on land reclamation, and that too in and around Port Harcourt. Then after that in West Africa, there are not many dredging companies long time ago, Ghana had a small dredging company, which is almost non-existent now.
Right.
And now one company is trying to buy Chinese dredgers, but then they are no match to these things. And as far as encouragement to other companies are concerned, we invest so much in Ghanaian economy that lot of vendors are growing with us, who provide lot of services to us, from fabrication to welding to lot of support equipment. So, in fact, if I can count, at least 10 to 15 vendors have become, from small vendors, they have become big or moderate because they get regular work from us.
Right.
So we are really contributing to economy directly or indirectly in a big way.
Okay. I understand we have Peter also from Cape Coast on the line. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes.
This is Peter speaking from Cape Coast.
Right, good. Please flow.
Yes, I want to find out from Dredge Masters whether the Cape Coast Fossil Lagoon is on their radar.
Should I take that? Yes, I have actually visited there. I've been invited by the MCE and other concerned, opinion leaders there to look at it. And we've submitted a proposal. We are doing some follow-up, but as I mentioned, it's a big project. It's on their heart. They really need that dredge, and it's basically also has to do with funding for that project because of the size of it.
So, per your engagements with the MCE and the local authorities, give and take, when do you think that this project can kickstart?
So they also have to take it up to the ministry in charge. So it's quite a process. I mean, as you can tell, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot that goes into dredging because of its specialized nature.
And cost-intensive nature.
So, yes, we have to act fast because then again, the work too has to be done to mitigate the impact, the negative impact of the challenge they are facing on the community.
Right.
So then, yes, I'm sure this week I'll give a call and follow up on it to see how best we can do too.
So Peter, you heard him this week. He's going to make a follow-up call to the MCE and local authorities, and then they will see what they can do. And perhaps if all things go well, maybe in the shortest possible time, you might be witnessing the arrival of dredge masters in that lagoon. Captain, so I understand we still have some messages in the inbox, but let me find out from you. My question now, all right, I understand we have Mavis on the line, so let's take Mavis and then and then we'll find out from you where we should be headed if we want to have a sustainable marine sector in Ghana. Hello, good evening, Mavis.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling in. Please flow.
Okay, I must say that I'm so excited about this. I never knew we have a Ghanaian-owned company doing all this in Ghana. I think that they are doing great. And we must support our own. The government, I'm urging the government to really support them, give them contracts so that they will be able to help the nation. Just as they want to build a very great nation, they should just encourage them to do more. I believe in them. I'm just hearing them for the first time, and I'm so enthused about it. God bless them for their work, for their hard work, and may they continue to help the nation and other African countries as well.
Amen. Oh, thank you, Mavis.
Thank you for good wishes.
All right, yeah. So I think that you guys are in the good books of most of our viewers this evening, and so they are giving all the accolades and offering some prayers for you to do more. All right. So yes, where should we be headed? What should our focus be as a country if we want to have a sustainable marine sector?
Marine structure and infrastructure is very, very critical for economy. One is sea trade. Without sea trade, logistic and supply chain cannot function. If you are aware, freight rates are going sky high at this moment. If you want to bring anything to Tema now, today you are not getting ships.
Right.
So you can understand the importance of shipping. So for any country to sustain, export imports totally depend upon money structures. Like you heard about Keta project coming up. I am very, very excited about it because Ghana needs lots of ports, and Africa has arrived. Now this century belongs to Africa. It's the engine of the world now. So Africa has to change from consumer to producer.
Right.
So it means more and more exports. It means more and more deeper ports. At the same time, we have to see the safety of life. That is, we don't get flooded, we don't destroy our agriculture by floods, or at the same time, we don't go dry because drinking water is not available, irrigation is disturbed. And as you have seen now with Ukraine war, world has gone into a food crisis, especially African countries, because we are large-scale importer. But we have such a beautiful land as well as talented people. So if we have infrastructure, if our irrigation is developed, if water is available, if rivers are deep and flowing, we can do our own things.
Absolutely.
We don't have to depend upon it. So dredging plays a crucial role from sea to ports to rivers to land reclamation to make our own dams work again. Building a new dam will cost very huge investment, lot of time. But what we have, they are not being used properly because they have lost capacity. And there we come in. We can restore their capacity in a short to medium term. So to me, to make entire economy sustainable, one of the biggest pillar is dredging.
Right. All right.
So it's very, very critical for the country. And I'm very grateful that Ghana government is looking at it, and especially to Jospong Group, that they have invested in a field which was not their domain, say 5 years back.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, Captain. This one says, hi, good evening to Captain and Sena. This is a great achievement for Ghana and also a great opportunity for smaller companies to take advantage of. I look forward to supporting your projects again. This one is from Promise Senor Chinasi of Cent Investment Limited. I think he was the one that called in. Okay, I understand we have a last caller. Good evening.
How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Fine evening, how are you?
I'm terrific. Thank you very much, sir. Please.
Yes, it's very refreshing to be hearing about this company in Ghana. But my advice to them is that for Ghana, we have, a big problem in our hands. Companies like this will come to do very good job for us. But those in authority, they are 5%. Is what we are begging. We are in crisis, and we need people like this to come out and help us.
Right.
So we are begging that they should at least rely on 5%, and not allow us to succeed in our endeavors.
Right.
This company is a great company. Let's all embrace it and see how best we can forge ahead with it for our success.
Right.
There's a lot to be done, and we pray for them. May Allah let them succeed in what they are doing.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. Adams is speaking for you. I think now the 10% has reduced to 5%. All right. So some messages here. This one says, good evening. Great discussion. I report. Ask Dredge Masters how they are tackling the challenge of climate change. Okay, I've taken that one. Please ask Dredge Masters if they do any form of post-impact assessment whenever they carry out dredging activities. This one is from Samuel in Teshi. Just 1 minute and then we wrap up.
Yes, so basically if the project details, scope entails post-impact assessment, yes, that is also undertaken. So it's all part of our services that we provide. So we go beyond dredging. We actually provide project management services also. In addition to the main dredging activity, we carry out all of these other activities that go with the dredging. Yeah.
All right. So this is where we say thank you to Captain Ansar Ahmed Khan, Managing Director, Dredge Masters here in Ghana, and indeed Sena Kofi Adiepena, who is Operations Manager at Dredge Masters. Remember, we've been discussing how to leverage world-class equipment and professionals for a sustainable marine future in our country, Ghana. We appreciate your time this evening. Remember, the abridged version of Iron Port is aired on Ghana Television every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. and so you can watch this show there again. And we also like to say a very big thank you to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, Goel Company Limited, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, the operators of the Integrated Customs Management System at the port, and indeed Meridian Port Services, MPS, in the port of Tema. Remember, the show is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. Much thanks to our executive producers, Madam Esther Jebidonko and Madam Nana Esi Kwansa Soderberg. My name is Kennedy Mona. God willing, we shall bounce back next week with another wonderful edition of Iron Port. Please stay and enjoy the rest of the programs.